As many of you are tracking, this week House Republicans will vote to raise gas prices on American families. The president spent the last 2 years, as you know, doing everything he could to lower gas prices for American families. Now, House Republicans are using their narrow majority to force the American people to pay higher gas prices, just as big oil companies are amassing record profits.
Yes, that was White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre with her talking points attacking House Republicans for a bill which oil released from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve with more drilling on federal land and water energy. Secretary Granholm is slamming the plan as well.
H.R. 21 would impose unnecessary, unhelpful restrictions on when the SPR can be used to help provide supply. It would interfere with our ability to be responsive to release oil during an international emergency, helping Putin's war aims.
I guess one of the big questions is anybody buying any of this out of the White House? Joining me right now is Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman, I know that there was bipartisanship on that bill because the House Republicans do not want oil in the SPR to be sold to our #1 adversary, China. Can you react to what you just heard from Granholm and Jean-Pierre?
You know, talk about spin. I mean, they just don't get it. They probably get it. They just don't want to admit it. And, you know, let's face it. The intent of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve was not to score political points, but that's what this administration has used it for. It's for natural emergencies, and we have those. I live in the South. We have hurricanes. We have tornadoes. That's what it was used for. What if a hurricane hits Houston? What kind of trouble are we in then? Right now, this SPR is down 36%. This administration has no plan to replenish it at all, at least no plan that involves American energy. This is irresponsible, and they are using this for no other reason but to score political points, and now they're fear-mongering, saying, oh, you're going to raise prices, gas prices. No. What raised gas prices in America was the war on fossil fuels that this administration undertook when they first got into office, and they have been doing it since day one.
Well, there is absolutely no acknowledgement whatsoever that this White House and the Democrats have shut down America's ability to be energy independent. We're going to Venezuela. We're going to Iran.
It makes no sense whatsoever, and we're selling our SPR to our adversaries, and that is just undeniably stupid. I mean, that's all it is.
Kevin McCarthy, Speaker McCarthy joined me a week ago on Sunday Morning Futures, and he told me that that specific bill, which garnered bipartisan support, was simply to ensure that the Strategic Petroleum Reserve was not allowed to sell our oil and gas to China. They're saying it's about something else.
They're saying it's about something else because they're trying to spend it. It makes no sense whatsoever. And you know, the #1 responsibility of our federal government is to protect our homeland. We can only do that by having national security, and energy independence is national security. To be relying on other countries, on our adversaries for our energy needs, that's irresponsible. And this administration is being irresponsible.
Congressman, I want to ask you about this showdown that is about to take place. A group of House Democrats are pushing to eliminate the debt ceiling altogether. Both Joe Manchin, Senator Manchin, as well as Kevin McCarthy, the House Speaker, have confirmed to me that they will be meeting about the debt ceiling. And I spoke with Manchin at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Here's what he told me. Watch.
I think what we have to do is realize that we have a problem. We have a debt problem. We're at 31.4 trillion of public debt right now. And all we're saying is, should we not make sure that we all recognize how we got there, how we prevent from going further?
So let's be clear about how we got here, Congressman. The Democrats in the White House borrowed $5+ trillion in 2 years on Joe Biden's watch. What are you going to do about it?
And you know, the Democrats had every opportunity when they had the majority in the House and the Senate and the White House. They could have taken care of this, but they didn't take care of it. They waited until now. And you know, it baffles me. Senator Biden was perfectly willing to negotiate on the debt ceiling, but President Biden does not want to negotiate. What kind of example is that for the leader of the free world to set, that he's not going to negotiate on something that I consider to be one of the greatest challenges to our country, and that is our national debt. We've got China, our national debt, and education. That's what we've identified as being the three greatest challenges to our country. And you know, our debt is intergenerational theft. We are digging a hole so deep for our children, for our grandchildren, they'll never be able to get out of it.
No, I understand that, but what are you saying when you say negotiate? I mean, you're not suggesting that the debt ceiling is not going to go up, are you? You're not suggesting that America is not going to pay its bills after the money was borrowed and already spent.
No. I mean, look, we're responsible, and we're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Right.
But what we need to do is we need to have fiscal reform as a result of this. We need to we need to curb this spending. Yes.
Yeah. You've introduced the Fair Tax Act. Tell us about that. That would replace every existing federal tax with a national tax on sales. It would repeal the federal taxes on income, payrolls, and estates as well. The Journal editorial board is slamming this plan, calling it a gift to Democrats. The board pointing out that the Tea Party unsuccessfully ran on this idea back in 2010 because, quote, few voters listened to a second sentence after they hear about a 30% tax on everything they buy, Congressman. How are you going to push this through?
Look, people don't like taxes. We understand that. However, given the choice between a consumption tax, a property tax, an income tax, or a payroll tax, they would much rather have a consumption tax. The reason the Democrats don't like this is because they lose control. They lose control over the taxpayer. In a consumption tax, you decide what you're going to pay taxes on. You want to buy a boat, you're going to pay taxes on it. You don't want to pay the taxes, don't buy the boat. And oh, by the way, it also resolves that Democratic fear-mongering about, oh, the rich aren't paying their part. Well, the rich are paying their part. You know, the taxes on a yacht are a lot more than the taxes on the John boat. Now, I'm going to be buying a John boat, but rich people, they buy yachts. So this resolves that. And, you know, it's an idea that has been around for years, and now its time has come, finally.
Well, look, I would say if you're in the market for a boat, you're rich, okay? Whether it's a big boat or a small boat, you're buying a boat, you're rich. But, Congressman, I mean, are you really expecting that you're going to generate the kind of revenue you need just from a consumption tax?
Absolutely. Absolutely we can do it. There's no question in my mind that we can do this. A consumption tax, and the infrastructure is already in place. The infrastructure, you know, states already have income or sales tax. So it would be a seamless transfer right to what we want to do.
Yeah. Buddy Carter, it's always a pleasure. Thanks very much for weighing in on all of that.